A Disney employee has apparently assaulted female guests at the theme park, including children. This is being reported on by that park place. I have this article pulled up right here. Disney sued after Walt Disney World employee allegedly filmed a teen guest skirt. Lawsuit claims man had been caught by Disney doing this previously. And to me, that's the worst part about all this, because if this was an employee who did something like this, I wouldn't necessarily agree with suing the employer, although I can understand the sentiment of why some people would want to do that. But the fact that this guy has done this sort of thing before, Disney knew about it, and they kept the guy not only employed, but employed in the capacity where he's around guests, including young girls. Walt Disney World is facing a disturbing lawsuit after the family of a 14-year-old girl alleges a cast member secretly filmed up her skirt during a visit to Hollywood studios, and that Disney allowed the employee to remain on the job even after a prior similar accusation. The cast member, identified as Jorge Diaz-Vega, was arrested in 2023 after Orange County deputies reportedly uncovered approximately 500 upskirt videos on his phone. So it's not like this is just an occasional thing for this guy, or he did it once in the past and he got caught doing it again. 500 videos. It would take some time, I imagine, to acquire that kind of collection for this sort of ordeal. According to law enforcement, many of the recordings appeared to be taken while Diaz-Vega was on duty at the Star Wars themed Doc Andor Den of Antiquities in Galaxy's Edge in Walt Disney World. Among those videos, investigators say was footage of the underage girl who had traveled to the park with her grandmother from Michigan. According to the civil complaints filed in Orange County Court last Friday, Diaz-Vega allegedly dropped a toy near the teenager, bent to pick it up, and used the opportunity to place his phone under her dress and record. When the girl realized what had happened, she immediately suffered an extreme emotional and physical reaction. The lawsuit says she began hysterically crying and screaming, then ran into a nearby restroom where she vomited and had a panic attack. Yeah, for a girl that age, I can understand why she'd be freaking out when she notices what a creepy guy like this is actually doing. And again, that seems kind of brazen, the fact that he's just going to bend over and place his phone, obviously trying to make it look more discreet according to this story. But still, it really does come across as this guy is just comfortable engaging in this type of behavior. And it really does beg the question. It's like, what has Disney been doing this whole time with an employee like this? Has anyone else caught him? Because they say he has been caught doing this sort of thing in the past. But I mean, just me personally, if I ever did something like this at my job and someone caught me doing it, I wouldn't feel comfortable even showing my face around any of those people again. Have so much shame, and it takes a lot to embarrass me. But apparently for this guy, okay, he gets caught, just brush it aside and just do it again. And Disney's like, oh, well, just keep doing it, but whatever. I guess he's a good employee or something like that. Or maybe they just weren't allowed to fire him for some other reason. But perhaps the most damaging allegation isn't what happened to the teen. It's what Disney allegedly failed to prevent. The lawsuit claims Disney was already aware of prior misconduct involving Diaz-Vega. Specifically, it says he had previously been caught filming up the skirts of female co-workers, but was still allowed to remain employed and in close proximity to guests, including children. Now, you would think for any respectable company, if anything like this happened, that they would fire that employee right away. I mean, you would think is this really one of those situations? It's like, well, you're sexually assaulting some of our employees, but I don't know. I mean, we'll still let you stay at the business just as long as you, I don't know, take some anti-harassment training at work or something like that. I mean, what's the deal here? Is there any good reason why they should keep this guy around? Like, why was he so important that they couldn't just fire him? Was he really that instrumental for the daily functions of the park that they just had to keep him around, even though he was engaging in this type of activity for presumably a long time? Disney deliberately engaged in outrageous misconduct by creating and allowing an environment to exist where an employee had the means and opportunity to secret video record the plaintiff's minor grandchild under the child's dress, the lawsuit states. The family is suing both Disney and Diaz-Vega for negligence, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. They alleged the company failed in its basic responsibility to provide a safe environment for guests, particularly minors. Yeah, I agree. They should be suing all the parties involved in all this. And I hope this family get what they deserve in this matter, because this is ridiculous, the fact that it actually transpired in the way it did. And I hope that girl, I hope she can recover from this, probably get some therapy, because this has to be a difficult thing for someone of that age to have to deal with. So I hope she gets the help that she needs after all this and isn't wanting for any money anytime soon. I mean, she should get a full ride to whatever school she wants to after all this and in some. Diaz Vega is also facing 2 criminal cases for video voyeurism. According to court records, his legal team is currently attempting to have him declared incompetent to stand trial. Investigators say Diaz Vega admitted to recording similar videos over the span of 6 years. So he's been doing this for 6 years now, and apparently he must not have been that great of an employee, because his lawyers are trying to argue that he was so incompetent that he can't even stand trial. So let me get this straight. This guy that his lawyers are saying is so incompetent that he can't stand trial was so important for Disney that they allowed him to work at their park for 6 years while this stuff was going on. I mean, this is really unbelievable to me. Local news outlet MESH2 reports that Disney had not responded to requests for comment regarding either the lawsuit or the prior incident involving a coworker. The company has also not clarified whether Diaz Vega faced any disciplinary actions before his arrest. He was still employed there, so I would say the disciplinary actions that he had for the prior incident was insufficient. Like I said, he should have been fired immediately when they had sort of thing like that, and probably charges pressed against him back then, but instead they let him stay on there, and this is the result. Now, if they would have fired him and he was at the park on his own fruition as a citizen and he did this sort of thing, okay, that's another story. Like I said, if Disney did fire him or they didn't know about this type of behavior and he did it, I wouldn't necessarily blame Disney for all this, but because, I mean, this is really the crux of all this, because Disney knew this was going on, or they knew that he did this sort of thing, and they still kept him at the company around children, then yeah, they should be sued as a result of all this. Now, it says Disney's not going to comment, and I don't expect them to ever make a comment on this, because frankly, it's pretty embarrassing for them as a company. I think we're going to not necessarily see a lawsuit for Disney. There's probably going to be a settlement behind the scenes, because Disney doesn't want to take this sort of thing to court or drag it out. So they're probably just going to give the family a bunch of money. Like I said, I hope it's enough for that child is never wanting for money again. Probably not going to be that much, but I think it should be quite a bit for all this, because yeah, I mean, it's a pretty disgusting thing that this happened. And I don't know what the maximum penalty is for voyeurism, in this case, for a minor, but I hope this guy, faces the stiffest penalty for this sort of thing. And I hope the people that in prison with him know what he's in there for. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Do you think the punishment should, or how harsh do you think the punishment should be for this type of individual? And what do you think Disney's liability, if any, is for all this sort of thing? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with the latest entertainment news. And don't forget to click that like button and share this video out there, because it really helps out with the channel. Thank you.